Donald Trump just posted something so vile, so morally bankrupt, that it should end any pretense that Republicans operate in good faith. A Democratic lawmaker, Melissa Hortman, was assassinated this summer. Trump said nothing. He didn't lower the flag. He claimed he didn't know who she was. But now, Trump is reposting conspiracy theories claiming Minnesota Governor Tim Walz had her killed. This is the same president who claims Democrats provoke political violence with their rhetoric. The same administration that says the left creates a culture of assassination. This is Strategic Signal Report. I'm Sarah Mitchell, and tonight we are exposing Trump's grotesque exploitation of a murdered public servant and why this reveals that Republicans never argue in good faith. What did Trump post? Why is this different from how he responded to Charlie Kirk's death? And what does this say about political violence in America? Let's break down the moral bankruptcy. Let me show you the stark, disgusting contrast in how Donald Trump responds to political violence depending on whose side the victim is on. Melissa Hortman was the Minnesota House Speaker, a Democrat. She was assassinated this summer in a brutal act of political violence. Trump's response at the time? Nothing. Silence. When finally asked about it, here's what he said. "I'm not familiar. If the governor had asked me to lower the flag, I would have done that. But the governor of Minnesota didn't ask me. I wouldn't have thought of that. But I would have if somebody had asked me." People make requests for lowering the flag, and oftentimes, you have to say no because the flag would never be up. Read that again. Trump said if we lowered the flag for every murdered public servant, the flag would never be up. He didn't know who she was. He didn't care. He dismissed her assassination as just another request to lower the flag, something he'd have to refuse because it happens too often. That was Trump's response to a Democratic lawmaker being murdered. Now compare that to Charlie Kirk, when Kirk, a right-wing provocateur who openly advocated for public executions and directed hate at people of color, women, and LGBTQ individuals, was killed. Trump turned it into a multi-day political event. He condemned political violence. He blamed Democrats. He used Kirk's death to rally his base and attack his opponents. For Melissa Hortman, silence and dismissal. For Charlie Kirk, political theater and exploitation. But now, months after Hortman's assassination, Trump is posting again about her, and what he's posting is objectively evil. According to reporting from MeidasTuck, Trump is now reposting videos on Truth Social suggesting that Governor Tim Walz had Melissa Hortman assassinated. Let me repeat that. Trump is amplifying conspiracy theories claiming a sitting governor orchestrated the murder of a state legislator. This is not political commentary. This is not criticism. This is a vile, baseless conspiracy theory weaponizing the death of a public servant for political gain. Hortman's family is still grieving, and Trump is using her murder to score points with his base and attack Democrats. This is moral bankruptcy, and it should disqualify him from any claim to condemn political violence. Now let's talk about the staggering hypocrisy at the heart of Trump's administration when it comes to political violence. J.D. Vance, Trump's vice president, has been pushing the narrative that Democrats provoke political violence with inflammatory rhetoric. Here's what Vance said. "We got to stop it. We got to condemn it. If you want to stop political violence, stop attacking our law enforcement as the Gestapo. If you want to stop political violence, stop telling your supporters that everybody who disagrees with you is a Nazi. If you want to stop political violence, look in the mirror." Let's fact-check that claim with actual evidence. J.D. Vance himself once said Donald Trump would be America's Hitler. He was right. But now he's claiming Democrats are the ones using Nazi comparisons. And Democrats aren't calling people Nazis because we disagree with them. We're calling out specific policies and behaviors that mirror fascist tactics: mass deportations, targeting of minorities, attacks on press freedom, purging of government institutions. That's not inflammatory rhetoric. That's accurate diagnosis of authoritarian governance. But here is the real kicker. The only person who has ever directly incited political violence is Donald Trump. Just a month and a half ago, Democratic Congressman Jason Crow spoke out against Trump and called for service members to disobey illegal orders. Trump's response? He called for Crow's arrest, prosecution, and execution. Congressman Crow wrote, "Trump called for my arrest, prosecution, and execution. Almost immediately, the threats exploded against me and my office. All Americans must condemn this political violence." Crow released audio of the actual threats he received. They are disturbing, violent, and explicitly tied to Trump's incitement. Trump didn't condemn those threats. He inspired them. And remember how Trump started this term? By pardoning January 6th rioters, people who committed violent acts to overturn an election. Trump wrote them a blank check, he said. If you commit political violence on my behalf, I will protect you. That's not condemning violence, that's encouraging it, that's directing it. And Trump is protecting more than just rioters. He's protecting everyone in the Epstein files by refusing to release them. Trump isn't just shielding himself, he's shielding a network of powerful people who were connected to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. So when G.D. Vance, Caroline Leavitt, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel claim political violence is coming from the left, they're lying. The evidence is overwhelming. Trump incites violence, he protects those who commit it, and he exploits the deaths of his opponents for political gain. Now let E's talk about the broader pattern here, because Trump's exploitation of Melissa Hortman's death isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a systematic strategy. When Charlie Kirk was killed, Trump and his allies turned it into a political circus. Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, was photographed taking selfies inside the tent where her husband was killed. They were selling merchandise at the memorial. This wasn't mourning. This was performance. This was using a death for political and financial gain, and Trump played along. He condemned Democrats. He blamed the left. He used Kirk's death to rally his base. But when Melissa Hortman, a Democrat, was assassinated, Trump said he didn't know who she was. He wouldn't lower the flag unless asked. He moved on immediately. Now, months later, he's reposting conspiracy theories about her murder. Why now? Why is Trump suddenly interested in Melissa Hortman's death? Because his administration is collapsing, his approval ratings are tanking, his policies are failing, and he needs a distraction. So he is sitting in the White House, probably talking to Stephen Miller or Susie Wiles, and he is asking, how do we get the base fired up again? How do we distract from the Epstein files, the failed Venezuela invasion, the economic disaster? And the answer they came up with: attack a dead woman, weaponize her murder, spread conspiracy theories. That's who Donald Trump is. That's who Republicans are. They don't operate in good faith. They don't believe what they say. Everything that comes out of their mouths is politically motivated. And this idea that we need to work with these people, that we need bipartisanship for bipartisanship's sake, I reject it completely. I don't need Democrats in Congress having beers with people who exploit the deaths of murdered public servants. I don't need them buddying up with people who spread conspiracy theories about assassinations. There is no reaching across the aisle with moral bankruptcy. These are not people who view you and me as real. We're pawns in their game. Melissa Hortman was a pawn in their game, and we should never, ever take them seriously. There's this idea in American politics that we need to maintain civility, that we need to work together, that when Republicans go low, we should go high. But I have realized something. The muck isn't calling out Republicans for their lies and their exploitation. The muck is believing them. The muck is pretending that people who spread conspiracy theories about murdered lawmakers are operating in good faith. The muck is Democratic senators saying, well, I think we can work with Republicans. On Obamacare subsidies, I think they'll come around. They won't. They never do. And believing they will is how we end up enabling moral bankruptcy. I don't want Democrats networking with people whose morals are fundamentally opposed to human dignity. I don't want them having drinks with people who think exploiting a murder is acceptable politics. There's no bipartisanship with bad faith actors, and that's what Republicans are. That's what Trump is. That's what this post about Melissa Hortman proves beyond any doubt. So here's what we need to do. Stop taking them seriously. Stop believing they lacked in good faith. Stop pretending we can work with them. Call them out, expose them, reject them. That's not sinking to their level. That's maintaining moral clarity in the face of moral bankruptcy. Tonight, we have exposed Donald Trump's grotesque exploitation of Melissa Hortman's assassination, reposting conspiracy theories months after dismissing her death as insignificant. This is the same president who claims Democrats provoke political violence, the same administration that pardoned January 6th rioters and protected everyone. In the Epstein files, Trump doesn't condemn political violence. He directs it, he encourages it, and he exploits it when it serves his political interests. Republicans are not good faith actors. They will say anything, exploit anyone, and spread any lie to gain power. We should never take them seriously, and we should never believe we can work with people who view murdered public servants as political props. This is the kind of moral accountability you get every day at Strategic Signal. Report, we expose hypocrisy and demand better. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for daily briefings on Republican bad faith and moral bankruptcy. We post at AM and PM Est. Comment below, should Democrats stop trying to work with Republicans who exploit murders? What's your reaction to Trump's post? For Strategic Signal Report, I'm Sarah Mitchell. We'll continue holding Trump accountable for his moral failures. Stay informed, stay outraged, and we'll see you in the next briefing.